The big question is Procreate worth the hype? To say Procreate is a popular illustration app for designers and artists is a massive understatement. It is the #1 drawing app in the world by far in every single country, and it's truly amazing the heights that this app has gone to and the things that people use it for to this day. Choosing the right digital tool / app for their workflow is by far the biggest choice that any artist, designer, creative person is going to have to make. And I'm constantly being asked, is Procreate the best for what I need to do? Now, a lot of this can be subjective and it's going to be relative to what you want to do. But today we're going to explore Procreate a little bit. I'm going to tell you some of the great features that it has to offer. And by the end, you'll be able to make up your own mind to see if this app is exactly what you should be getting. I just want to let you know that this video is not sponsored as well. I would obviously love to be sponsored by Procreate. This is just my own views and opinions on this fantastic app. So do with it what you will. But having said that, let's jump in and explore first off, what type of artists use Procreate? Well, that's a very big answer. Realistically, any type of artist can use Procreate. I've seen so many different applications and I use it myself for so many different types of art. Obviously, idea creation is one of the best fundamental things you can do in Procreate. It is a layer-based application where you can utilize those layers to create some really unique pieces. But having said that, that layer-based application really lends itself to a lot of other areas as well. I started out using Procreate for tattoo design. Procreate has definitely taken over the tattoo industry. Almost every single tattoo artist I know uses Procreate or has heard about it at least. And I think that says something in terms of what Procreate is and who would really love an app like this. So yeah, next time if you're in a tattoo studio around a tattoo artist, ask them about Procreate. I guarantee you they're going to know about it. So as I mentioned, it is a layer-based application. We have access to create so many different layers here, and each of these layers can have different properties applied to them, and you can group these layers as well. There's so much with them, and how many layers you get is going to be determinant on when you create your canvas. This is going to be another fundamental area of Procreate, which I absolutely love, and many artists do as well, for the simple fact that you can customize your canvases to get the highest quality artwork or even time-lapse videos of what you draw. When we're in the gallery view of Procreate, which you're going to see when you first open up this app, you're going to see a little plus in the top right-hand corner. There will be some pre-saved canvases here, but we're going to go to the little plus icon that's inside of a square. And this is where we're going to be really able to customize things a lot. And we're going to see the options that we have when we do that. If I have a look down the left here, there are some options in terms of dimensions, color profile, time-lapse settings, and canvas properties. What we're going to focus on is dimensions. And if we have a look here, we can start to create our canvas and we're going to see what we have to work with. Let's have a look at an A4 piece of paper, 210 by 297, international size for that piece of paper. And then we have our DPI, our dots per inch. Now, this is going to be really important in terms of the quality you're going to get out of your artwork, but it's also going to dictate how many layers you have. So this is something you're going to have to think about when you jump into each of your pieces. But I would always recommend, if you're ever thinking about printing your art or you do want really high quality art, leave this at 300 DPI. You can see here it's giving me 116 maximum layers to work with. Now, I don't know about you, but that is plenty more than enough. I think the most I've ever maxed out on a piece of art is maybe 40 something layers, but even then I was merging them as I went. So keep this in mind. The bigger we go with our canvas and the higher we go with the dots per inch, the lower the maximum layers available are going to be, because they would require more information on each of those layers. But this is one area that artists really love because it will allow you to tailor what you're doing and the results you can get from it. Another reason a lot of people love Procreate is the other options down here. Color profile, we can switch between RGB and CMYK. We won't go into that today, but there are other videos on my channel that explain this, so go and check those out. But one of the biggest reasons that the world absolutely loves Procreate is this next tab here, the time-lapse settings. Now, this one's really, really important because every stroke we do in Procreate is going to be recording in the background, and we can watch that time-lapse setting back later. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you know I post a lot of my time lapses, and the reason I get such good quality in those time lapses is because I change the settings in here. A little public service announcement: the higher you go with these settings, the bigger each of your canvases is going to be and the more space it's going to take up on your iPad. I personally have it at the highest level because I want to know that if I'm going to use that time lapse in the future, I'm going to get the best quality out of that. Time-lapse is one of the best features that Procreate offer. They have since the start, and other apps have tried to do this with varying levels of success, but none have come close to Procreate at all. This feature makes Procreate an absolute game changer and a must-have for anyone out there looking to draw digitally. We've talked about layers, we've talked about time-lapse, but one of the best features about Procreate is out of the box straight away. It comes with around 200 brushes, which are ready to go, no payment required. These are high-level, industry-leading brushes with a lot of tactile feedback when you are using them on your canvas. And working with the Apple Pencil on iPad, these brushes are truly standout. There are so many to choose from here, and you can also download so many packs online. Some of them will be paid, some of them will be free, but I would encourage you to jump into the around 200 that are already pre-installed in Procreate, because you can create some truly amazing pieces of art. This one here, I used 3 of the brushes which are included with Procreate. I used the soft pastel, I used the 6B pencil, and I used the soft brush airbrush. You can create professional looking work with the brushes that come with Procreate, but don't be afraid to explore other options as well. These features and so many more make Procreate an absolutely standout choice when it comes to creating any sort of digital art on the iPad. But I think the main thing, and the thing that I want to instill in you today when you're thinking about getting Procreate, is how simple this app is to use. I constantly see people who are moving into the digital world and aren't sure about using this type of technology, and this is where Procreate stands out. The ability to jump on an app like this and to start with really basic drawings and then add things in as you go and progress through the app, and work with a workflow here and an application which is very simple to look at, to understand. It's not going to overcomplicate things, but there is enough there deep down which you can explore and find out so much more about as you continue your journey into the digital art world. I cannot recommend Procreate enough. It is worth every single cent, and I'm proud to say that I bought it the year it came out and I've never paid another cent for it, and it's been an absolute game changer in the work that I can create digitally and the things that I can work on in this app when it comes to me as a creative in today's world. If we break it down into a really simple pros and cons list, pros would have to start out with, as I've mentioned already, layers, the use of these, the application of these, as well as some of the settings you can do when it comes to these layers is really stand out. The brushes, the amount we have to choose from, but the brush studio as well. When we click into these brushes, we have so many options to actually edit those brushes and to see how they're going to react in live time when we're using things like the Apple Pencil. Obviously, the time-lapse feature comes into the pros very heavily. It is the standout in this field across any other drawing app there is, and I've used many of them. It truly is a great way to not only have it running in the background and record what you're doing, but to watch it back later and to see all the processes you went through, and to even be able to share that as well, which I absolutely love to do. Other pros would include really great support from Procreate in terms of their community, always listening to the people using their app. They're very fast to do updates on the app, and I've never really had any problems when it comes to the software itself. But I am very assured, knowing the company and how fast they roll things out, if there ever was, they'd be really quick to act on that. Another pro would definitely have to be the animation features in this. Animating inside an app like this is quite basic, but Procreate thought about this and they actually created another whole app called Procreate Dreams, which I have videos on my channel about if you'd like to go and watch those. This shows a level of commitment from the app to listen to the people using it and to create dedicated standalone apps for these things. So as a company that always wanting to develop, wanting to do what they do even better and bring more and more to the general public. I'm definitely going to throw price into the pros here. A one-time cost, you'll never pay for it again. I cannot describe to you how great that is in a world of subscription-based everything. It is just really nice to have the option to buy something once and have it forever. User interface is another pro, as I mentioned before. Very simple layout, very easy to navigate, understand what's going on. Very encouraging to click on things and just learn about what's in there. And you can't really do anything wrong when it comes to this app, but it does encourage you to go further with it. And it wouldn't be a pros and cons list without some of the cons. I didn't really want this video to come across super biased, but it is my favorite app and it's an app I use every day. So for me, that does speak volumes to what this app has to offer. But if there were a few cons in there, I'm going to put no vector support in the cons, even though I understand why they don't do this. And it's a whole other aspect of digital design, which I won't get into today. But I do have to pop it down in the cons because a lot of people are looking for that. but there are other apps out there that you can help with this if you want to go the extra mile when it comes to vector work. But it does go in my cons list for today. And the only other con I have, which does kind of bother me, is when we are in our gallery view at the start, we can make stacks. If we have a look at this one here, if I expand it, you can see all the evolutions of the artwork that I've done there. This one here, created a few different versions of the same piece of art. Stacks are great, but I'd love to see a better file structure system in Procreate. I'd love to be able to see something where I could choose year and then month. As someone who creates so much in Procreate every single day, I do think the file system is lacking just in the slightest, but for 95% of users, it's probably going to be more than fine. So it does make it in my cons list, but don't let that deter you from grabbing this fantastic app. So those are my thoughts on Procreate. Should you get it? You know what? It's a one-off cost. I'm going to have to say 100% yes, grab it. I don't think there's ever a point you're going to get to where you're really disappointed with this app, even if it's an app you only open once a month, once every couple of months, once every couple of weeks. It is enough for you to jump in, do some really basic sketches, but also go a lot further with. Definitely gets my tick of approval for anyone doing any digital work out there. And I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite tips and tricks around Procreate? And why did you get Procreate, or why didn't you as well? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you in regards to Procreate. If you're thinking about getting it, if you've got it, if you love it, if you don't, let's have a chat down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe because it helps me bring you these videos each and every week. So until the next video, I'll catch you then.